Hello there, members of the EDAP 585 class that meets every Thursday night in room 201G in the ERTC from 4:30 to 7. This is your introductory video announcement. You will receive these video announcements every week before class meets to give you a sense of what we are about. This announcement is basically going to cover the structure of the course, where things are, and a little bit of how the course will work, along with a introductory of where the book that we will be using called Stratosphere. Find it on Amazon. It's extremely cheap there. This is necessary for you to have, so make sure you go get it. It's a good book. It's an easy read. It's a very easy read. This is our landing page. This is what you'll see when you first come into our course. One of the first things I want you to do when you get here is roll down here, and you'll see there is something called a flip grid here. One of the things that we do in this course is we use a lot of Web 2.0 tools that you are more than welcome to use in your class. Some of these tools are by subscription only. I will give you the way to get into those tools with the username and password that you are more than welcome, again, to utilize with your class. This first thing I'd like you to do with Flipgrid is just make yourself a little video introducing yourself to our class. There are 8 of us that meet in the online, and we don't know who you are until we actually get to see a face and hear a voice. You have 90 seconds to do that. All you do is click on this plus sign right here, and it will pop up. It'll show up your camera, and whatever you decide to record by clicking right here will then show up in a box. It's that easy. Like Flipgrid a lot. It's one of those tools that you can use in a Google Classroom or Schoology as a way for everybody to get to know each other. Below that is a video from the guy whose book we are going to be reading. This is Michael Fullen. Dr. Fullen is very well known in the world of research education because of his theories around what he calls change knowledge. His book mentions change knowledge a little bit, but really what his book is about is the challenges and the payoffs and the different ways that technology can be integrated into a classroom. Dr. Fullen is a Grommeyer Award winner from the University of Louisville. He is the former dean of the University of Toronto School of Education. That's where I met him, got to know him. He is also the former Minister of Education in the province of Ontario. He's a great guy. He, in this video, comes off very dry, which is a shame because he's not dry at all. And he is a really interesting gentleman. And below that then are sort of this is kind of what we're doing, creating the virtual classroom. We'll spend some serious quality time talking about TPAC, SAMR, and UDL. That's all a lot of acronyms, but you'll understand what it means. Over here on the left-hand side, if you are coming into class via the online, I'm going to show you in a few minutes here how to do that. If you come to class, you can come to class in 2 different ways if you're going to do it online. One way is you can come on the night that we meet, Thursdays at 4:30. That's called synchronous mode. You will be there at the same time as everybody else is there. But you also have the liberty of coming in asynchronous mode, meaning every class will be recorded. Those recordings will be posted here for you to see, and you will receive an announcement from me that the recordings are available. As you can see over here on the left-hand side, there is a place that says EDAP 585 Collaborate. I'll show you how that works. Right now, there is a placeholder that you can't see because there's nothing in it. It will be called EDAP 585 Recordings, and that's where all the recordings will live. This is where all the announcements live. If we need to have virtual office hours where you can drop in via Collaborate on, say, a Friday, and just ask me any question about what you're doing, how's it going, how do things get submitted into live text, all those things, you can do it there. But more importantly, and to the point, in this first little bit here about taking an online class, as you can see, I freely give you my text number. Use it. And that means for anybody that's in the class in person or online. If you have a question, if you have a concern, if you just don't understand something, if it's really confusing to you, or if something isn't working, very important. If something isn't working, text me. Don't wait. Don't wait to the end of the semester and go, well, I didn't know how to do that. Text me. If it's your first text ever sent to me, make sure you put your name in it just so I can create an account on my phone so I know who it is that is texting me. Over here on the left-hand side, as you can see, there's a link that says 585 modules. We click on that, and this is your work. The way the class works, it is all broken up into modules. Each module represents a piece of work that we do that all tied together with the idea of what does it take to authentically put technology into a classroom. As you see, our first module is all about a book study, a stratosphere. We're going to jigsaw Dr. Fullen's book. We're going to use a tool called Pictocharts. We love Pictocharts. We will give you free access to Pictochart with a subscription username and password that you are more than welcome to use. And if you want to use it with your students, you can. We'll be using the Google Classroom. We're going to be sort of modeling how to use Google Classroom with our book study. So if you have a Google Classroom, good for you. Otherwise, you don't have to do anything. You're just going to sign in and join this little Google Classroom for our class. And this is where we will post our links to Pictochart. One of the things that Pictochart doesn't do, one of the things that Google Classroom doesn't do is it doesn't know how to handle embeddable code, which is a big part of what you'll see as we work our way through this. So we're going to be using something called a Padlet. Again, these are also things you can use in your classroom. And this Padlet will allow us to have a gallery walk of all of our Pictocharts about chapters 2 and 3 and chapters 4 and 5. The next module is the lift. That's what I call when we get into stuff that's kind of heavy. This will be a exploration of three theoretical frameworks called TPAC, SAMR, and UDL, the alphabet soup. This is sort of the ideas behind what we're trying to do. We then take off and start playing in what I call the ubiquitous classroom. You're going to build something called a wiki using a tool called Wikispaces. You will be using that as a way to demonstrate the next modules as a place for them to live. And then you will then take the URLs of the various pages that you create. That's what you will put into the live text. Very simple. Module 4, we'll be talking about the digital native, who he is, what she is, do they exist? Do we think that the ideas around the digital natives are really real? We'll be looking at a gentleman by the name of Mark Prinsky. He basically is the guy who came up with the term digital native. We'll be using a tool in the digital native as well as when you create your Wikispaces called GoAnimate. GoAnimate is more fun than a box of puppies. If you don't find GoAnimate the coolest thing you've played with in a long time, I don't know what to say. The next one we're going to do is Module 5. This is straight out of the book. Irresistibly engaging. This is something that Fullen talks about all the time, that if we don't make technology irresistibly engaging, then really there's no use to having technology. We're going to use another tool that's readily available to us. It's called VoiceThread. VoiceThread allows you to create online lessons that are interactive, that can contain multiple kinds of media. We like VoiceThread a lot. And then we're going to do number 6. Our module will be on assessment. We're going to be looking at all the various ways of doing assessment online. some of these we have talked about for a while, and I'm really kind of surprised and happy to see that they are now starting to show up in JCPS, things like Nearpod, and again, one of my favorites, something called Ed Puzzle. I really, really like Ed Puzzle. And of course, then there's Google Forms. So if you have a Google Classroom, then you need to understand Google Forms because it can become a part of what you do in that Google Classroom. And finally, in Module 7, we're going to look at something that is really starting to take off in the state of Kentucky, and that is programming, coding. We're going to go ahead and go at it from the idea of game development. I am a big fan of teaching kids coding, and I won't bore you with the rationale tonight. I will do that when I have this in class. But suffice it to say, if this kind of scares you, don't let it. All we're going to do is take a look at something called Scratch. And in Scratch, we're going to build a very simple game that tells a story. And that's one of the things that I find fascinating about game development with kids is you can bring in so many of the other elements of language arts, storytelling, writing, and then, of course, the mathematical part of it, and that has to do with design, has to do with how to logically put together a sequence of commands that cause something to do something else. All kinds of plugins here at all kinds of different areas in the curriculum. And then finally, here's the hat. There's nothing hidden in this course. Everything's right out there in the open for you to see. As you can see, the hat is just pretty much a reflection exercise. You talk about what you think about the various things that have gone on in the course. Now, let me do collaborate real quickly for those of you who will be coming into the class. As you may or may not know or can tell, I am sitting inside of Chrome right now. I like Chrome a lot. I find that Chrome plays nicely with just about everything that we're going to be using. Well, not just about everything that we'll be using in class. Firefox works with Collaborate as well. The newer versions of Firefox work better. If you're trying to use Internet Explorer, good luck. That's all I got to say. And please, please, please don't be using Edge. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Collaborate link. There's a little video here that kind of talks you through it. But to get to it in Chrome now, all I do is I click on this link, and then it says Join Room. I will click on the Join Room, and it's basically asking where do you want me to save this thing called meeting.colab. This is a little application, if you will. Actually, it's a piece of Java code. And I'm going to say save. Now, in Chrome, the nice thing about it is once you save it, it'll appear over here on the left-hand side. In Firefox, once you save it and use it, it builds a path, and so it always remembers where it is. So I always just put things like this on the desktop because it's easy to find them again. And I'll save. And on my Chrome, it's located down here in the bottom, which is kind of hard to see for you anyway, because it's below what I'm filming. But it's down here in the bottom, and I click on that, and it starts the application of Collaborate. This pops up, and it says Run. And I give it a second or two. The first time you do it, it will ask you if you want to use this over what kind of connection you might have. Most of you will probably be sitting on cable DSL, so just select that. If you're at the university on a university machine, we would be using the LAN, the network LAN. Can you do this sitting inside a Panera Bread on wireless? Kinda. If you're at home on wireless, can you use this? It's a little bit better at home on wireless than it would be if you were out and about somewhere. So the best thing you can do is go ahead and try it before class to make sure that everything is working right. Ignore this that comes up. That's just for me to turn on the recording. Here's where everything lives. What will happen is when I come in and I turn everything on, it'll look something like this. And so what is here now shows up over here in the Collaborate video window. So for those of you at home, you'll see exactly what this looks like. You can move your little Collaborate window out of the way, or you can leave it up so you can see what people might be saying down here in the chat room. This is where we all end up. Make sure that when you're in the Collaborate window that you turn on your talk button. And as you can see, it's recognizing that I'm here because the little line is moving. The other thing that I need you to do if you're going to be joining us is to make sure you have on a pair of headphones, because the last thing in the world that you want is for your speaker to be doing a feedback loop through your microphone. It makes it sound like you're Darth Vader in space. It's really kind of obnoxious. When you're finished with your Collaborate session, you just come up here and close it out, just like you do everything else. Okay, that's what it looks like in Chrome. I'm going to go ahead and try to do the same thing over here in Firefox. Wish me luck. In Firefox, really, it's not all that different. It basically does the same trick as Chrome does, but it doesn't put that nice little easy link down in the lower left-hand part of your screen like it does in Chrome. In Internet Explorer, it works the same way in Internet Explorer. In Internet Explorer, what you'll want to do is you'll want to go look in your Downloads folder for the meeting.colab, and it will show up. Now, as you can see, I'm in Firefox, and it's already having some problems here talking with this new version of Blackboard that they upgraded over the winter break. So I'm going to give this a second or two to see if it's going to load in. I'm going to look around and see if there's any kind of warning that says anything about that there's a problem with Firefox and this version of Blackboard. I don't see anything. So let me just kind of talk you through it. Ah, there it goes. It popped in finally. Thank you. So here we go. We're going into class. I'm going to go over here to Collaborate. I'm going to come down here to the link, and I'm going to join the room. Now, as you can see, it says, have you already installed the launcher? Then you can launch Blackboard Collaborate now. I'm going to tell it, no, I haven't, that I need to download it. And as you can see, it says, okay, where are you going to download it to? And once again, I'm going to put it on my desktop so I can go and find it. Oops, sorry, I did it. So, good enough. Okay, and now I should be ready to go. Join the room. So it's basically saying to me, where is your Colab? And all I have to do is navigate and find where that file was that I just downloaded. And it works, just like the other. And one of the things that it will do is it will remember where that link is. So it'll come back and work for you again. Now I'm going to go ahead and close out of here, Firefox. And wow, that's taken a while. Look at that. It's still trying to download the Colab. But it's meeting.colab is the little thing you're looking for when you go to join the room. I'm going to go ahead and cancel it as I use Chrome. And that's it. So I will see you Thursday night, 4:30 in room 201G. Those of you who will be joining us from the great beyond, as I call it, in the online class, I look forward to seeing you there as well. If you will please, before you come to class Thursday, go ahead and jump in here, find the big plus, and put your little introduction. You have 90 seconds worth. It doesn't have to be 90 seconds. And just give us a sense of who you are, where you teach, and what you teach. I will see you on Thursday night, 585ers. I look forward to a very fun and engaging class with you.